Today, we're going to talk about 3 obstacles to treating depression. I'm Angela. I am passionate about breaking the stigma of mental health issues among fellow Christians. I'm here to help you live a more purposeful life in your relationship with God and with one another. If you have a family member or a friend who is struggling in this area, you may have had some of these thoughts. Why don't they want to get better? It seems like they're not even trying. Or is this something that they're doing just for attention? Or maybe they're just an inherently weak person, and that's why they haven't overcome this. And these aren't horrible thoughts to have. I mean, they're a little bit of a legitimate question, but I can answer these questions for you, and the answer is no to all 3. No one wants to struggle with depression. And there are some really, significant obstacles to treating depression. And I think that it would be helpful for those who are struggling with depression and also the friends and family members of those who are struggling to kind of understand some of those obstacles before they make a judgment on how a person is facing this illness. And also for those who are struggling before you make a judgment on yourself. And so let's look at those obstacles. The first and probably most significant obstacle to treating depression is really a refusal to accept the situation or circumstance that you find yourself in. When you find yourself in the middle of depression, there is a tendency to deny it. You might think, well, it's probably just my circumstances and things will get better, or I can't possibly be facing a clinical depression because really my circumstances aren't that bad. I mean, I shouldn't be feeling this way. Dr. Jon Benson describes depression as waking up every morning and putting on a 50-pound backpack and going throughout your whole day with that extra weight. When we refuse to accept the situation that we find ourselves in, it's that much more difficult to address and overcome the depression because we're refusing to acknowledge it. Acceptance is not resignation. Acceptance is not resignation. And so it's just taking things as they are and then moving forward. Number 2 is minimizing the impact of depression. If you find yourself minimizing the impact that depression is having on your life, you are really undervaluing who you are as a person, and you are created in the image of God. It matters that depression is sidelining your God-given purpose in this world. It matters that you are feeling hopeless or helpless, and God is the author of hope, and this is not His plan for you. And even when you are in the middle of that, if you minimize it, then it's going to be that much harder for you to find help and hope. Number 3, depression really distorts the way that you think about yourself and the way you think about others. And this is a huge obstacle to getting treatment because you might start to believe that you somehow deserve to be depressed or that you aren't worth the effort in seeking treatment, or that maybe you have somehow brought this on yourself. And nothing could be further from the truth. That sense of hopelessness can really render you ineffective in seeking out treatment and can make you less likely to seek treatment. So that's a big obstacle. All of these obstacles are really the key reasons for why we need to avoid isolation when we are facing depression at all costs, and really reach out for that community support, even when it feels counterintuitive, which it will when we're depressed. So don't believe that lie that somehow you're the only one struggling, or that you aren't worth the effort, because you are, and it's key not to leave yourself in isolation. I love what Apostle Paul says in 2 Corinthians. We were so utterly burdened beyond our strength that we despaired life itself. Indeed, we felt that we had received a sentence of death, but that was to make us rely not on ourselves, but on God who raises the dead. On Him we have set our hope. There is hope for you today. So what obstacles have you faced in treating depression? I've just listed about 3 today, but I'm sure that you've encountered some more. So comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And please subscribe for more videos. I'll be sharing some great tips and encouragement for whatever it is you're facing, whether you yourself have a mental illness or have a loved one who does. I'll see you next time. I'm Angela. I am passionate about breaking the stigma of mental health issues among fellow Christians. I'm here to help you live a more purposeful life in your relationship with God and with one another.